back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So when the baddies finally arrive in Jamaica, that's when Natalie ends up calling up Sky and letting her know that she wants all the girls to meet up so that they can enjoy their first night in Jamaica. So House B is on their way to meet up with House A, and that's when House B starts getting really turned up on their bus. They're drinking, they're dancing, and they're having a really good time. And then all of a sudden, Smiley falls to the floor and she's unable to really move. Now, the girls from House B are just staring at Smiley while she lays on the floor. They're all assuming that she just wants attention and that she's pretending to be drunk because they feel like she didn't really drink that much. And Tasiki is trying to pull Smiley up, but she's dragging her really aggressively across the floor, just assuming that Smiley is joking around and that she's not being serious. Now, I was really annoyed at the fact that these girls weren't taking this girl laying on the floor, unable to really move seriously. I mean, even if it was because she was drunk, I don't feel like you should just leave her laying there on the floor and then yell at her because she won't get up. Now, they finally end up arriving to meet with the other girls, and that's when Natalie and everybody else is looking at Smiley on the bus. She's falling all over the place. She's unable to really move. She's basically not even conscious, and that's when security is trying to help Smiley up, but it's just not working. Now, I will say that Sky was the only person that acted like they cared about Smiley. Now, I did see her do a little bit of shady stuff while she was trying to help Smiley. Like, she was laughing a little bit with some of the other girls about her faking it, but she was trying to help her, and I think that that was good. But I did think that she was wrong for mushing Smiley's head back. I understand that she didn't want to get thrown up on, but the girl's in the middle of a medical emergency. She's barely conscious and she can't hold herself up, so you mushing her head back, that could have really got her hurt because she could have smacked her head on the ground. Now, they finally end up getting Smiley to the hospital, and the other girls are yelling and screaming about how she was faking it and she just wants attention and that she just ruined their whole day in Jamaica, which that was mainly Tasiki that was saying that. She was yelling and screaming about how she's gonna smack Smiley when she sees her and that she wants her to get on the bus with them so that she can smack her because she feels like she's faking it for attention. And I just don't understand why these girls are saying that she's faking it, because Tasiki wasn't the only person saying that she was faking. It was also Anna saying that she was faking it, and Biggie was sitting there laughing with Tasiki saying that she was faking it as well. I just don't understand why they don't believe that she was really having a seizure. Like, if this girl was faking that seizure, then she needs to be casted in a movie as soon as possible, because that means that she's an amazing actress, because I believed that she was having a seizure, and actually I know that she was having one, and I think that it's disgusting that people are saying that she wasn't having a seizure because at one point she was snoring, which people do that when they have seizures. It's like your body almost goes to sleep for a little bit, and then on top of that they said because she was screaming she wasn't really having a seizure. People do scream when they have seizures. Not everybody does it because every seizure is not the same, but some people do, and I just don't understand why people are going around saying that this girl was faking it. Just because you don't like her doesn't mean that every time something happens to her she's faking. I just don't think that that's right. And honestly, I was really disgusted at Biggie because a lot of people like Biggie and they're always saying that she's such a great girl and that they like her so much and they don't understand why people gang up on her. But I no longer have any more sympathy for Biggie anymore, because I just don't think that it's right that she sat there with the other girls laughing and basically saying that Smiley was faking it. Because had Biggie been the person in this situation that Smiley was in and she was the one that was having a seizure, these girls don't like Biggie either. So they would have reacted the same way to Biggie having a seizure that they did to Smiley. So I don't understand why she's sitting there laughing like it's a joke. It's serious. It's not a joke. Now, once Smiley was taken away to the hospital, that's when Sukihana and Bobby end up showing up, which I don't understand why Bobby is always somewhere where he doesn't need to be. What was the point of having Bobby on this trip? It just didn't make any sense to me. But I did think that it was good that Sukihana actually showed care and concern for Smiley. Even though they don't have a friendship with each other and they don't really know each other, I do think that she was genuine when she was saying that she cared about what happened to Smiley. And Natalie ended up putting House B on blast to Sukihana and Bobby because she told them that they were showing more concern for Smiley than the girls that actually stay in the house with her and hang out with her a lot, because they were being very insensitive, saying that she was faking it and that they didn't care. And Natalie made sure to tell Sukihana about that, and I just feel like it's disgusting how bad House B really is, because we actually kind of liked the girls in House B because they got along with each other, they were having a good time, and we really didn't like the girls in House A. But what I will say about House A is that they have each other's back more than the girls in House B do. House B really doesn't like each other, and none of them are girls because the way that they handled this situation was disgusting. At one point, Natalie did gather up the girls and let them know that they have to stop making insensitive comments when it comes to the situation with Smiley because it's very serious and she just doesn't think that it's right. I don't know if Natalie was actually being genuine because what she ends up doing to Smiley later on in the episode, but I did think that it was crazy that the girls who live in the house with her just didn't care about her at all. They were sitting there listening to what Natalie had to say, but then Anna and Camila got into their confessionals and were saying that they didn't care about Smiley and they felt like she was faking. And Biggie ended up getting in her confessional and saying the same thing, so I just have to side eye all of them, especially Camila. Like, Camila was very disappointing to me this season because I just don't like the way that she handled this situation with Smiley. It seems like she was jumping on the bandwagon to join in with the other girls to not like her, because let's be honest, what exactly has Smiley done this season that makes people not like her? Like, I really didn't see her do anything as weird as these girls were saying that she was doing. I did think that it was wrong the way that she felt the need to get on the show, like, you know, the fake tattoo of Natalie's name, and then on top of that, she snatched Mariah Lynn's chain. I thought that that stuff was weird, but to me, she didn't do anything for them to not believe her when she said that something was wrong. And Camila should know all too well about girls not liking her and ganging up on her, because the reason why a lot of people like her from Bad Girls Club in the first place is because when she came on the show, the girls in her house didn't like her and they were all ganging up on her, and that's the reason why people liked her in the first place. So honestly, I just don't understand how she was acting this way towards Smiley. It was just really weird. I mean, they keep saying that Smiley is doing things for attention, but what exactly did she do this season for attention? Because honestly, the situation between her and Mariah Lynn was off the show. Like, that happened when they weren't even filming the show yet. They got into it and it was just something stupid. But once she got on the show, she kind of faded into the background into the whole miscarriage thing. But she didn't even make the miscarriage a big deal. She only called Tasiki up on the phone and told her that that's the reason why she was at the hospital, is because she had a miscarriage. After she told Tasiki about it, she stopped talking about it and she let the whole thing go. It was the other girls that kept bringing it up, so I don't understand why they're saying that she does things for attention. What exactly has she done this season to get attention? I just don't really see it. And because Rollie ended up separating herself from everybody and leaving when she saw that Smiley was having a seizure, everybody ended up showing up to where she was at to make sure that she was okay. And basically, she said that the reason why she left is because she felt like Smiley was faking it, and she feels like Smiley was making a mockery of seizures, and she takes seizures very seriously because she claims that her father passed away from having seizures. She said that she feels like Smiley was faking it because the way that Smiley was having a seizure wasn't the same way that she saw her father have them. And that's weird to me that she would say that that's the reason why she feels like Smiley was faking it. Because if you do your research and even talk to a doctor, they will tell you that everybody's seizures are not the same. So I don't understand why just because the seizure wasn't the way that she saw it happen means that this girl was faking it. She was also spreading some misinformation in this episode as well, because she was saying that when somebody has a seizure, you're supposed to put your fingers in their mouth to hold their tongue down so that they don't swallow it or something like that. And it's like, no, you don't put your fingers in their mouth. Most of the time people put them on their side, but you don't put your fingers in their mouth. So I just thought it was weird that she was saying that. And to me, she was being open, okay, about her situation. She was talking about how she suffers from depression. But because of the way that Rollie treats other people, I can't give her a pass just because she says that she suffers from depression. If you know that you suffer from depression, why would you be sitting around trying to make other people miserable by lashing out on them and picking them apart every chance you get? And then on top of that, it's like, girl, go get some mental health help. Go get some damn therapy if you need help or something, because I just feel like she's trying to use suffering from depression as an excuse for her behavior, and to me, it's not an excuse. When Smiley ends up getting to the hospital, at some point she ends up waking up and she's upset because she's in the hospital. She doesn't know what happened. She's asking them what happened. And for some reason, when Natalie finds this out, like when she finds out that when Smiley got to the hospital, she was okay and she wanted to leave, Natalie felt like Smiley was faking it. And so she did say that she was going to address Smiley when she shows up to dinner with them. And I think that's so stupid that she thinks the girl was faking it because she didn't end up staying at the hospital. Like, listen, sometimes when people have seizures, they don't even go to the hospital. Let's be honest. Some people don't even go to the hospital at all. But a lot of the times when you have a seizure, you do wake up not knowing what happened, but you wake up okay, like nothing ever happened. So I don't understand why they're acting like there's just one way to have a seizure. Like, it's just really weird to me. Even with the whole miscarriage thing, because she wasn't in a ball crying or she didn't stay in the hospital overnight, they sat there and said that she was faking it. Like, everybody is not the same. And drama ends up erupting between Natalie and Scotty when they all get to dinner because apparently Scotty got her food first and she ordered 2 plates of food, and Natalie got annoyed by that, and so they were exchanging text messages with each other, talking shit to each other. Natalie ended up showing the text message to one of the other girls, and that's when Scotty and Natalie ended up having a very heated back and forth. Natalie is in Scotty's face. She's pointing in her face. She's yelling in her face. Like, I just thought that it was really disrespectful the way that Natalie was treating Scotty. Like, Natalie knows who to act that way with, because she wouldn't act that way with one of the other girls that she knows will pop her in her face. But because Scotty's not going to do anything, that's the reason why she does her like that. I think that it's stupid that Scotty sat there and allowed Natalie to treat her the way that she was treating her. And then the two of them had the audacity, because the backlash they were getting for the fight that they had on the episode, they got on social media and started saying that it's just like a big sister and a little sister fighting, and it's like, no, it's not. I have 3 sisters. None of my sisters get in my face like that, and none of my sisters put their hands on me, because if they did, we would be fighting and we probably wouldn't talk for a while. So I just don't know why they're trying to make an excuse for that. But listen, if Scotty likes it, I love it. Now, Mariah Lynn and Sukihana ended up having a little bit of a back and forth while Natalie and Scotty were getting into it, because basically Sukihana was telling Mariah Lynn to mind her business about the situation and asking her who she has loyalty to. And so Mariah Lynn started talking back to Sukihana and telling her that she can say what she wants to say. And I just thought it was a really weird back and forth between the two of them. Like, I know there's some type of tension because Sukihana called out Mariah in the previous episode, but I just thought it was weird that they got into a back and forth, because I really didn't feel like anything happened to the two of them for them to get into it the way that they did. Then Natalie ends up calling Smiley into the room, and she starts yelling in Smiley's face, telling her that she was faking a seizure because she wanted attention and she was ruining everybody else's day. And that's when Tasiki ended up jumping into it, and she's pointing in Smiley's face too, yelling at her, telling her that she was faking it. And then Anna ends up going up to Smiley and showing her the video of her partying and having a good time. And then she showed her the video of her slumped over on the floor and her having the seizure. And that's the reason why Anna and everybody thinks that she was faking it, because one minute she was okay and the next minute she wasn't. And I just think that that's a really stupid reason to not believe that something really happened to her, because one minute she was dancing and having a good time and the next minute she wasn't. Like, that's very possible, and that happens to people all the time. That's pretty much how it goes, really. So I just thought that was dumb. I didn't like the way that they were yelling at her, though. It was mainly the girls who live in the house with her that were yelling in her face. And then at one point, Tasiki told Smiley that she wanted her to go home, and then Natalie starts telling Smiley not to walk away, and she's continuing to yell in her face. And that's when E.T. ends up coming over from the side, and she pours an entire bottle of water on Smiley's head. And after E.T. ended up pouring the bottle of water on Smiley's head, that's when Smiley decided that it's time to throw in the towel and just leave, because none of these girls like her anyway. They're yelling in her face after she just had a seizure, and they're all saying she's faking it. And honestly, I don't blame her for leaving. I'm actually surprised that she didn't end up leaving sooner. But once Smiley walks out the door and leaves, that's when Sukihana gets pissed off, and she starts calling the girls out for being lame because of the way that they treated Smiley. She said that even if they felt like she was faking it, she didn't think that it was right for everybody to gang up on her and yell in her face, especially when she just got back from the hospital. And listen, I am not a fan of Sukihana at all, but I do agree with her when it comes to this particular situation, because she's right. These girls treated Smiley wrong. They did not all have to gang up on her. They didn't all have to yell in her face. And this is not even the first time that they did this to Smiley. This is like the 3rd time that they've done this to this girl, and she just came back from the hospital from having a seizure, and everybody's screaming in her face because she doesn't remember what happened. Like, that's so dumb to me. And Sukihana called out E.T. particularly because she's the one who poured the water on Smiley's head for no reason at all. Like, what issues does E.T. have with Smiley? Smiley never did anything to her, and she just poured water on her head. So I think that it was right for Sukihana to call the girl out. Now, while she's having a back and forth with E.T., that's when Rollie ends up jumping up and she gets into Sukihana's face. Now, Rollie is the main person always telling people to mind their business and stuff like that, but then she jumps into a situation that didn't have anything to do with her. Like, why did she have to jump into it when E.T. is having a back and forth with somebody else? I think maybe she didn't want E.T. to get beat up, and that's the reason why she decided to step in, but she really should have stayed out of it. And let me tell you something, I am side-eyeing the hell out of Sapphire right now, because listen, I can understand her not getting involved when Sukihana was having the one-on-one back and forth with E.T., because obviously that's one-on-one. There's no need for her to jump into that. But as soon as Rollie stepped in and she got into Sukihana's face defending E.T., that's that's when Sapphire should have stepped up and she should have been face to face with Rollie. Because even though Sapphire was left in the house by herself with these girls and Sukihana was off doing her own thing, and so maybe Sapphire built some type of friendship and bond with some of these girls, that doesn't matter. All of that goes out the window when they're trying to gang up on your friend that you had before you got on the show. I just don't like the way that Sapphire handled this situation. She was so quick to jump on, Smiley for Mariah Lynn, but she won't do the same thing for her friend, and I just think that that's really, really weird. Now, one thing that Zeus loves to do is show us part of a fight and then wait until the next episode to show the whole thing. So we really didn't get to see Rollie and Sukihana get into a fist fight in this episode. That'll be in next week's episode. But let me tell you, this episode really opened my eyes to the way that some women can be, and I'm just disgusted by it, to be honest with you. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies East. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all, and until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.